Hey guys, Leanne here on Grady's Mom. This is Cooking Series Volume 40. This is just a recipe that I made up randomly. It is so easy that it's ridiculous. It pretty much has less than 5 ingredients because I don't really count salt and pepper as an ingredient since we all have that in our homes. This is, again, something I made up. I think one random day a few months ago, I just had a few chicken thighs in the fridge that I needed to do something with, and what inspired me was the salsa. So I kind of threw a few things together and it actually turned out to be absolutely delicious. I shared this recipe, or I shared like a video clip of it in one of my recent What's for Dinner videos, and so many of you guys commented and messaged me and said that you wanted the recipe. So I thought I would share how I made it. Again, super easy. The only other ingredient I would think that you could add optionally is just top it off with a little bit of shredded cheddar or whatever kind of cheese that you like. I think I even put a little Parmesan cheese on it last time. I'm gonna kind of call it like a peasant style, Spanish style chicken stew because that's sort of what it reminded me of. So for this recipe, again, this is just going off how I made it. You're gonna need some chicken thighs. I would assume you could do it with chicken breast, but I personally don't think it would be nearly as good. I am a little bit partial because I do like dark meat over white meat. So I've got 4 large boneless, skinless chicken thighs here. You're gonna need the canola oil just for searing the meat, so you're not gonna add any oil to the stew. The oil is simply just to sear the meat before we put it in the crock pot. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, it is a crock pot recipe, so very convenient if you're running out the door for a busy day. You're gonna need about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of a chunky salsa. I have a medium heat one here. I get this size at BJ's. It's a 69 ounce and it's perfect for chips and salsa and obviously recipes. Again, the oil is just for searing. You're gonna need a can of pinto beans. These have onions in them, but the onions are totally optional. And you're not gonna drain the beans. You're gonna use all that juice that's in the can. You're also gonna need a can of cream style sweet corn. Any brand will do. I just like the Green Giant. And again, salt and pepper, just to salt and pepper your meat after it is seared up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my meat seared up and then show you how easy it is to dump it in the crock pot, set it, and forget about it. Alright guys, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do is get a large frying pan, preferably with a lid, or else you will get oil splatter all over you. So if you have an apron, I would recommend wearing that if you're not using a lid. So I have some canola oil in the bottom. I just put enough just to coat the bottom, like that. You don't want to saturate the chicken in oil, obviously. And the key is with searing your meat is you want a pan that is screaming hot. You want to let it heat up really hot, because when you put the meat on, you want it to sizzle in a very aggressive way. That's the best way I can put it. You don't want like a wussy sizzle. You want an intense, aggressive sizzle. That's how you get the nice brown crust on the meat that seals in all the juices and all the flavor. It's a very important cooking tip, especially something good to know if you're just starting out, to keep in mind for the future. So I have my pan again with the oil on the bottom, and this is about where I put the temperature. So very medium high, almost high. So you're gonna wanna let it heat up for at least 2 to 3 minutes and then put your chicken on, and you wanna be able to hear, again, that really aggressive sizzle when you put the meat down. You're gonna wanna put the top on, obviously, as you can imagine. You're gonna wanna let them go for about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Flip them over and do the same thing. Then take them off the heat and put them right from the pan into your crock pot. Alright guys, so I salted and peppered my chicken thighs after they got out of the pan, and I have my cans and my salsa open. So let me show you how ridiculously easy this is. This is also a great one to put your teenagers or older children to work because it's so easy. So you take the pinto beans, you pour them out. Again, you're not going to drain them. You're going to want all the stuff, all the juice in there. I'm just going to grab a wooden spoon and I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. Spread the beans out a little bit because you're not going to stir it. You're just going to kind of spread everything out. then I'm going to do the same thing with the creamed corn. I'm just going to pour it in and kind of spread it out a little bit. This is also a really cost-effective budget meal as well, because chicken thighs, as you guys know, are one of, for sure, a cheaper cut of chicken. And how much is a can of pinto beans and a can of creamed corn? Not much. So again, guys, just spreading it out, nothing too crazy. And then lastly, I'm going to get my salsa. Again, and I would say 1.5 cups to 2 cups, but I just eyeball it. So I'm just going to pour this all over till it looks like it's about enough. That looks about like a little over 1.5 cups. Same thing, just spread it out a little bit. And the nice thing is tomatoes are very acidic, so the tomato tenderizes the meat. It just works really well with the beans and the corn. So just use your spoon to kind of spread everything out evenly. Don't worry about stirring it, because it's all the flavors are gonna come together. So just spreading it out. Top is going back, or top is going on the crock pot. By the way, these liners are everything. I've talked about them multiple times, but let me just share with you guys what they look like. The Reynolds slow cooker liners, I'm assuming they might have like an off-brand of these, but these are life. There's 8 liners in a box, and I think they're like $2.50 or $3. But trust me when I tell you, they're worth every penny to not have to scrub your crock pot. So I'm just gonna set this on low for 4 hours. Oops, 4 hours, and start it. And it's just gonna do its thing. It smells delicious. You don't need anything else with it. I think the last time I made this on a whim, I didn't make anything with it. I didn't put it over rice. I just doesn't need it. It's perfect the way it is. Something I think would be really nice is like a side salad, or maybe some cornbread would be nice. But again, it's super easy. It's budget friendly. You guys saw how many ingredients there were. So I will be back in 4 hours to share with you guys how delicious this is. Hey guys, it is 4 hours later, and I made this on the perfect day because it was a really busy day. I wasn't home after I picked up Grady from school, and when I came home, it just smelled absolutely delicious when I walked in the door. This meat will literally fall apart with a fork. It just smells so good. So I'm gonna plate it up, and I don't wanna get too close because it'll steam all up. I'm gonna plate this up. I made got some corn muffins and pan fried them with a little butter so they're nice and crispy on the edges. So let me get this in my bowls. Let me get my corn muffins on my plates, and I'll show you how it all looks before we dig in. Okay guys, so I have a nice big bowl, and I just want to show you how tender the meat is. It literally falls right apart when you just go like that. And obviously these are boneless, skinless chicken thighs, so there's no bones to worry about. And it's sort of like a stew. So it's thicker than a soup, but thinner than a stew. But I would classify it more as a stew. And again, you guys saw how many ingredients went in, and it tastes like there were double the amount of ingredients in this. It is so delicious. Just 4 hours on low. The reason why it's such a short cook time is because you're searing that meat before. And then I also did some corn muffins. I got some big, gorgeous, fresh jumbo corn muffins from the Publix bakery. I just put a little bit of butter on them. I cut it in half, put a little butter, and then I just pan fried it. So it's a little bit crispy. It is so delicious. I promise you guys are gonna love this one. You could go ahead and top it with a little shredded cheddar cheese or whatever cheese you like. I'm gonna hold off on it today only because it's just a little bit extra calorie that I don't want in my diet today. But I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. I will type everything up down below, although you might not even need that reference because you saw how easy it was. If you have a bigger family, you can obviously double the recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.